Before we get started on the job, I just want to mention, I'm going to be showing you how to do one side of the vehicle. The process will be the exact same thing for the other. Let's get started. One of the first things you want to do is safely raise and support the rear of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground, and it's a good idea to have it hanging. The next thing we're going to do, if you have a hubcap, is go ahead and take that off now. Once you have that off of there, continue on to removing all 4 of your 21mm lug nuts and then the wheel. Now that we have the wheel off of there, let's apply some support under this area. Next, move along to removing your 17mm nut and then the shock from the axle. Now we can lower this again. Now let's make our way into the trunk compartment of the vehicle. Looking along either side, you're going to find that you have a strut cap here. Right along the top edge, you're going to see where there's an area that you can carefully fit a small screwdriver into and gently twist. Remove that panel, give it a quick inspection, and set that aside. Underneath that, you're going to be able to find the top of your shock. Now for the shock, you're going to need a 14mm wrench and a 14mm socket. The wrench is going to be for the bottom nut. The socket is going to be for the top. We'll use the bottom to hold this still. Remove that locking nut. Now we can finish by removing this nut. Keep in mind, as you remove this, there isn't going to be anything else holding the shock in place. So make sure there's nothing underneath it where it could potentially get damaged or somebody get hurt. Go ahead and remove that cap there. Let's make our way into the wheel well. All right, let's get this out of here and over to the bench. Now over at the bench, looking at the top of this, you're going to find that you have a rubber mount. Go ahead and grab that. Give it a quick inspection. Make sure it's still soft and pliable and it's not torn, worn, or damaged in any way. Set that aside. The next thing you want is a small hammer. Go ahead and give this a couple bonks to drive it off the shaft. Go ahead and give that a quick inspection. We'll set that aside as well. There it is, friends. Okay, friends, it's time to activate our new rear shock. Go ahead and take it, put it on the ground, and put it in between your 2 feet to hold it steady. The next thing I want to do is safely press this down. After that, I'll continue by releasing this and removing the plastic strap. Now what I'm waiting for is for this to continue expanding as far as it can. Once it's done, go ahead and press it back down and let it re-expand. Do that approximately 3 to 5 times to energize your rear shock. Go ahead and remove that plastic cover, and let's get ready to reinstall the top area of this. Now we're going to take this and we're going to slide the shock right on through the center and make sure it comes out through the top hole. After you have it through there, continue on with your rubber bushing. Now we can get back over to the vehicle. Let's take that shock and slide it up into the hole in the bottom of the body. Let's wipe down this base. Center the shock as close as possible. Now we're going to continue on with our upper mount. Looking at the bottom of the upper mount, you can tell it has the area that protrudes out a little bit. You want to make sure that this lines up and that area that protrudes down fits into the hole in the body. That'll help make sure that it's centered properly. The next thing you want to do is put on your washer. And now we're going to put on our brand new locking nut. Looking at one side of this nut, you're going to find a neoprene locker on it. Almost looks like plastic. The other side, nothing, just threads. Put it so the neoprene is facing up. We'll start that on by hand, and now we're going to snug this up. Now that I have the nut started on there, what I found was that the stud for the shock itself spun with the nut. So with that said, I'm going to use a 16mm wrench right on here, so I'm turning it clockwise. After that, I'll hold the stud that's protruding out with some locking pliers. Now while I'm holding the stud, I can continue tightening that nut. Make sure that's nice and tight. Remove your tools. Now the torque for this would be 18 foot-pounds. If you got the right tools for it, go ahead and torque that now. Install your plastic cover. Let's make our way back into the wheel well. We'll start attaching the lower shock to the lower stud. Put on your mounting washer and your mounting nut. Now we'll bottom this out and then we'll torque it to 36 foot-pounds. Let's remove our supporting jack. Let's get the wheel up on here. Now we can go ahead and start on all 4 of our 21mm lug nuts. We'll bottom them out, get the wheels safely back on the ground, and then we'll torque each of them to 76 foot-pounds. With the wheels safely back on the ground, let's torque these to 76 in a crisscross manner. Torqued. If you have a hubcap, go ahead and put that on now. There's one area on the hubcap that you want to pay special attention to. That's the area with the carve out that's supposed to be for the valve stem. Go ahead and line it up. Knock it into place. Make sure it's completely secured all the way around so it doesn't fall off while you're driving down the road. Okay friend, we got our shock installed in the vehicle. As I said before, when you do these, you want to do them as a pair, and the process will be the exact same thing on the other side of the vehicle. After that, go ahead and take it for a road test. Listen for any funny noises and get yourself safely down to your local alignment shop. Thanks for watching.